want to thank all of you for coming. Appreciate everybody's support. This is obviously a big day for us, and you watch on ESPN today and those things, it's become almost like another national holiday. The signing day is a huge day. It's a big day for us. So we're excited, and I want to, first of all, I want to thank our administration and everybody's involved. Damien, I don't think Damien's here, but the people that Damien is here. Damien and all the people that help keep our facility, the weed and the plaster clean and nice looking and ready to go. And man, it's so much fun as a coach to take a 17 and 18-year-old and his family and walk them into the plaster for the first time, because the look on their face, they're just blown away. And we understand how fortunate we are to have this facility, and we are always so excited about showing it off to everybody. And we know young men are excited about going into the weight room and the facility and seeing that they have a possibility to come in here and come and working out. But the guys that take care of it and make it look nice and get it ready after an event of 1,300 track and field athletes and all those things do a tremendous job. So I want to say thank you to all those folks. As we recruit, we are always so excited to show the facilities and everything, but I think Dr. Scott and Jim and I and all of us that talk to potential student athletes here at the university are kind of all on the same page, and that is the fact that when you see our stadium and see these facilities, it's so nice to see this, but it's still about the people here in Pittsburgh, Kansas. And I want to thank again all of you for coming and joining us, being a part of Gorilla Nation, because we are super proud to lead our football onto the team, or onto the field, and have the support that we have here at Pittsburgh State. So thank you again for all that. I want to introduce our coaches real quick, so just have our coaches stand up. I know a lot of you know most of them, but we got a couple new ones that I want to introduce. So I'll go real quick. This is Ryan Helwig. Ryan coaches our defensive line. Matt Carlskin coaches our wide receivers. Steve Wells coaches our offensive line. Chance Riley helps Coach Wells with the offensive line. Cedric Douglas. Cedric Douglas is new this semester. Cedric played at Northern Michigan. He was the defensive line coach at Hutchinson Community College. We got Cedric to talk to his company and grill, so make sure everybody welcomes Cedric. Okay, who else we got back here? Coach Garman, Larry Garman, Pittsburgh native here, been with us for a few years. Lance Cullen coaches our secondary, coaches our safeties. Luke Miller coaches our tight ends. Carl Roth coaches our inside linebackers. John Pierce coaches our running backs. Dave Weaver's defensive coordinator coaches our corners. Matt Nelson, strength and conditioning. Nate Dryling's back with us. Just got back here a couple weeks ago. Nate obviously was an All-American on the field, but I just found out the other day he's more proud of the fact that he was an academic All-American, because when we walked the recruit up through the hallway, he made me stop and make sure that they saw his picture on the wall up there. So Nate Dryling's back with us. Matt Clements is brand new this semester, just graduated from Kansas State University, and he will be helping with the secondary. And Steve Rampy is our offensive coordinator and coaches our quarterbacks. Okay, you got everybody? I want to thank again our coaches. They did a tremendous job, very relentless in what we're doing. There are times that we would talk, and all of a sudden we may have to jump in the car and run to St. Louis, or jump in the car and go to Dallas, and you know, our guys just do a tremendous job of going and doing the things they need to do to put a tremendous recruiting class together. So we're going to get started here. I know some of you have to be back at work at 1 o'clock, so we're going to try to go fairly quick. We're going to start out here with Steve Wells talking about offensive line. Real quick before Steve starts, get the video ready to go. I'd like to tell you that it's very important for us to make sure that we recruit the best local kids, and feel like we have done that. And we are very adamant about making sure we get the best kids from the area. And then it's hard for me just to single out one young man, but I want to tell you that we are super excited about the group of defensive linemen that we have. So last year we kind of talked about how we were very excited about Seaman Thomas, and I think that everybody saw that A true freshman came in here and started in the defensive line and played very well for us. And if we had to kind of single out one group this year, it would be our defensive line. Last year we signed a great class of offensive linemen, and so our class this year's a little smaller, but super excited again, like I said, about the group of defensive linemen that we have today. So Steve Wells, offensive line coach, is going to get started.
All right, appreciate Coach Beck letting the offensive line go first, because we all know it's the most exciting position on the football field. And if you can't get excited about talking about offensive linemen, you're not a true football fan. With that being said, we signed 9 gentlemen last year, so as you'll see, our recruiting class for offensive linemen is not very big at all. There's 2 gentlemen to talk about, and also to point out, it's very fitting that we identified our top 3 at the beginning of the recruiting season. These 2 gentlemen was in that top 3. So we got 2 out of our top 3 guys, which is very fitting. Okay, both of them are from Texas. What we like about Texas offensive linemen is they play great football down there, very high level of competition. Then after football, they go into powerlifting. So when we get these young men at 18 years old, they already have their core strength built up. Both these 2 gentlemen are 300-pound benchers, 500-plus pound squatters, and 500-pound deadlifters. They have their core strength already built up. So that's a tremendous benefit for us. The first young man, Antoine, okay, from Denison, Texas, 6'4", about 260 pounds. We brought him in, and when we tested him, you go ahead and roll the video, you're going to see a tremendous athlete playing offensive tackle here. Tremendous footwork, very quick foot, okay, but at 6'4", very aggressive. Again, really loved his athleticism, okay, when he came in. Showed very good footwork. Okay, we talk about length on the offensive line. We're just, we don't just talk about, it's just when we talk about length on the offensive line, we're not talking about 6'5", 6'6". We're talking about arm length, all right? And so even at 6'4", this young man's going to have the potential to play tackle because he has the length in the arms. Let's go to Justin. Justin Smith, a very powerful young man. Again, another Texas offensive lineman. Power lifter. There he is. Okay. Again, long arms. His reach is actually longer than mine at 6'3". Again, but the thing you're going to notice, very athletic, very powerful in the hip region. Okay. You can just, if that doesn't get you excited right there when you see that clip as an offensive line coach, I don't know what will. Okay. Played at Duncanville. Duncanville made it all the way to the quarterfinals in Class 6A. If you know anything about Texas football, you're making it to the quarterfinals in Class 6A, you're pretty dang good. And you're playing against very high-level competition. Very excited about these 2 young men. Okay, we got them in early in January. Then we held off. Both of these young men had Division I offers from FCS schools, and we was able to hold those guys off. They're tremendously excited about being here at Pittsburgh State. So thank you very much. We're excited about the group of offensive linemen we have coming back. We have 17 this spring, but as Coach Beck pointed out, we're going to have our work cut out for us because when Ron Helwig comes up here next, he's going to be very excited about his guys. He's talking about some speed coming off the edge rush. Okay, we'll all start losing some sleep in the fall. Thank you very much. Coach Helwig, you're out.
As they both pointed out, we've got a great group coming in. Coach Beck kind of put me on the spot. I was going to kind of downplay the talent, and then when I got out on the field, everybody's like, look at this guy. He knows what he's doing. But we've got great players coming in that we've signed. First one, I believe, Nathan Fairbanks. Nathan Fairbanks is on campus now. He's a junior college transfer. He's originally from Hutchinson, Kansas. Came to us from Independence Community College. Nathan goes about 6'3", 285. Has the ability, could play inside or outside at the 5 technique. We will use him on the interior. One thing you'll notice about him on his video that just stands out is he plays hard. And if you're going to be a defensive lineman, you have to play hard and you have to run to the football. He's big enough and physical enough to play inside and handle the double teams, but he also has enough passion for the game to run sideline to sidelines and make plays downfield. That's one of the things that we preach to our guys, and it's not something that we have to instill in him. He already has it, so we're very excited about Nathan. As I said, he's on campus. He's already working for us. He's in the weight room and doing a tremendous job so far. Very excited to get him into spring football. Next young man that we have is also another transfer. He is not on campus with us. He will join us after this semester, Elijah Jeffcoat. Elijah is from the Phoenix area. He went to Mesa Community College, is where we got him from. Went to William Fields High School there in the Mesa, Phoenix area. In high school was a track athlete. Was on the 100 meter. He was a 100-meter athlete. Was a 10.9 in the 100 meters. Was also on his high school's 4x1 team. Very athletic, very fast. He goes about 6'2", 210. And as you watch, he is a true speed rusher. He can turn, dip the corner. His takeoff is incredible. And the thing that is encouraging to me the most is he does it from a two-point stance. And if his first movement, every time he gets off the ball, is backward. And he's still beating people up the field and getting the corner turn. So we're excited to get him here, teach him how to go and be comfortable in a three-point stance. So when his first movement is now upfield, he's gaining that much more ground. In 10 games there, I believe he had 8 sacks. So he's flirting with 1 sack a game, in that range. You do that, and you're flirting with All-American status. Being a speed rusher, the concern you have is, does he know how to counter off of that? And he does. He's instinctive with it. Rarely do you see him deeper than the quarterback, so he knows how to read the set of the tackle and come underneath when needed. Very excited about that young man. Next is Keandre Hall. Keandre is from Battle High School in Columbia, Missouri. Keandre, when he gets here, his best friend is going to be Coach Nelson, and I'm going to make sure of that, because when Coach Nelson's done with him, he's going to be a monster. He's 6'4", close to 6'5", probably 215 to 220 right now. He's got the length, like Coach Wells said, the length in the arms. And he is going to be a big physical specimen. Also a multi-sport athlete, basketball, track and field. He has video on his Twitter account where he'll take one step, jump up, and two-hand dunk it very easily. He's got vertical explosion. He's a 32, 33-inch vertical jump, 4'7", 5, 4'8", and 40. Very athletic there. Helped his team to the quarterfinals. In Missouri, he was, tackle. He was a 100-tackle guy. I believe he had 8 sacks, 17 tackles for loss. The thing that I like most about him is, playing the 5 on the edge. He can set a hard edge. He's physical, and he can force the run inside. He can speed rush off the edge, and he can run you down from the backside. He has a tremendous amount of quickness, and he plays hard. His dad is actually the defensive line coach there. Had, I believe, a 6-year career in the National Football League. Played for the Chiefs, played for the Broncos, played for the Titans. So has good athletic background in his family. So very excited about that young man. Next up is Jordan Lynn. Jordan is from Neodesha, Kansas. His freshman year, he was actually at Blue Springs South High School, then transferred to Neodesha. Where we actually have a couple of alums there. His coaches, John Black and Nathan West. So he had a very good background knowledge, not just from being, proximity, being local, but, he's kind of had Pitt State instilled in him from the beginning with his coaches. But Jordan is a big 6'2", 285 pounds. They played him outside a lot. We will use him inside. He's got long arms. He has a tremendous amount of explosion. He's a 2-time All-State selection. He has a Shrine Bowl selection this year. But Jordan also is somebody that's physical. He runs to the ball. Like most 3A kids, he played both sides of the ball on offense. It was a lot of his clips. It's a train wreck. I mean, their bodies flying everywhere. He's physical. He runs through you. He's a very impressive young man. And, when you recruit, somebody like Jordan from Neodesha, you wonder sometimes, okay, is his video that good because he's that talented, or, is it the competition that he's playing against? We got him over here and tested him, and it was about 2-3 minutes into the drills. I walked over to Coach Beck and I said, we got to have this kid. He is that impressive. It has nothing to do with where he's from. He is that talented. And very excited about Jordan. He's going to be a good gorilla. Weight room wise, he's 365 bench press, 320 on the power clean, and can 30+ inch vertical jump. He has a lot of explosion, not just up the field, but vertically as well. Next young man, Christian Wills from Althoff Catholic High School, which is just on the east side of St. Louis into Illinois. Belleville, Illinois. It's about 15 miles. But Christian is a young man that has a tremendous amount of talent. He's kind of a complete package. He's very physical as far as in the run game. But if you watch him in his pass rush, he can hit a speed rush. He can hit a hard club. He can come underneath and counter. And if he has to, he can drop anchor and take it to the quarterback on a bull rush. He goes about 6'1", 265, and he looks like a football player. He's got wide shoulders. He's got the V as he goes down. He's got a big neck. He's a physically mature-looking young man. Mentally, he's a very mature young man as well. But Christian was, 111 tackles his senior year. I had 15 sacks, also along with 13 tackles for loss. So he's in the backfield a lot. Helped his team to the quarterfinals. They lost to Rochester High School, and in that game, he set the state sack record in a playoff game with 6 sacks. So he's a gamer. Big-time games he can play. Very good football player, very talented young man, and we're excited to have him. And last young man talked about Nathan Woods from right here in Pittsburgh, Kansas. I saw Nathan. Nathan came out to practice last fall. I got to meet him, stood next to him. You eye him up, and he's certainly big enough to play. He's about 6'4", 225, and has the length. That's kind of what you've heard Coach Wells talk about, what you heard me talk about. He's got the long arms, and you can see, and they move him around on defense, but you can see it at times. He knows how to use that length. He can play with leverage, and tremendous amount of speed. He's got a scoop and score against Wedge City, where you can, see him in the open field, turn it on and run. Very athletic kid, and most impressed when we got him on campus on his visit and just put him through drills, put him in stance. He has a tremendous amount of flexibility. He's a very smart young man, and he's somebody that he's got a bright future for the Gorillas. So very excited about all of these guys across the board. Wind the clock back 1 year when we were upstairs doing this, I was extremely excited about that group, and this one I'm as excited, if not more excited. So a lot of good things to come at the defensive line. So next will be our safeties coach, Lance Cullen. He'll come up and talk about the young men we recruited to safety.
Very good. Good to see everybody. We're going to talk about a guy named Marcus Brantley. Marcus Brantley will be a safety from Mesa Community College. He started out, I believe, at North Dakota State as a freshman, and then has played 2 years at Mesa. And you tell the ball, he's great in the middle of the field, great on the football. He's got tremendous ball skills. We're really excited about that. He's got a physical element to him that we really like. You watch him in his video. A lot of these transfer kids, you try and bring them in here, you try and assimilate the things that they're doing and what we're doing, so the learning curve is pretty low. A lot of the things that we're trying to do right now in defense, he does the same thing. Good ball skills, had some All-American honors this year as his sophomore year, and has a chance to come in and play for us right away. So we're really excited about having Marcus part of our program. Next one, Nick Cook. Nick Cook is from Ray-Pac High School. Had a lot of good football players from Ray-Pac. Mark, many of you know, been around and watched a lot of these games. His dad was a linebacker for us way back when, and been part of a really good program. One thing to like about him, once again, he's got good ball skills, does some similar things. One of the things about him is he's got some maturing to do physical and strength-wise. We worked him out. He had some good core components to him, and we're looking forward to getting him in the weight room and getting him beefed up, getting a little faster, and playing for us. All right. Next one, Jylan Jones. Jylan is a Bishop Hogan quarterback. One of the things about playing safety for us, we like to recruit some guys for quarterbacks for a couple of reasons. Number one, they have good command in the huddle. They take leadership. They get good communication skills. And so you're going to see mostly offensive clips, and you're going to see his athleticism at the quarterback position, projecting to play safety on defense. And obviously, he's 6'2", 205, and he's been an outstanding player and led a couple of really good football seasons for Bishop Hogan. So we're going to project him to play safety, and guys like that, you never know. 6'2", 205 gets in the weight room. He also could maybe even play linebacker for us if he grows into that body and be an athletic linebacker. So he also, too, if you're familiar with Kansas City, Kaufman Award winner for scholarship. I know a little bit about it, but I think that's a process they start. Coach Roth in the 6th grade, is that right? And you kind of get weeded out as it goes along. A lot has to do with academics, civic, and a lot of things that off the field. And so he's a great character young man. We're really looking forward to him being part of our program and grow and develop into a great defensive player for us. Next one, Brandon Malikas, another young kid that we've seen a lot of our camps over the last year. I think one of the things is besides being a three-sport athlete, once again being another quarterback. He's 29 on his ACT and a 4.0, so he's a smart kid. Leadership skills, and I think one of his greatest assets is that, number one, he's a quarterback, he's a wrestler, he's a center fielder, he's a baseball player, he's a three-sport guy who's never really had a chance to focus on being a football player. And I think you take all his intangibles and his potential, especially him knowing the history of Pittsburgh State football and having a head football coach who's a good player for us, that has come through in him as a player. We're really excited about having him be part of our program. Next one, Morgan Salamea. Morgan, state champ from Harrisonville, Missouri. I think once you watch Morgan here, he's a physical, aggressive kid. Played running back also. Right there, he's fast off the edge. He brings a speed and physical element to our defense that we like to have. Great young man. Once again, he's a multi-sport athlete. Technically, I think he was an all-state running back, right, Coach Rampy? Which says a lot about his overall ability, and we look forward to having a really, really good, solid football player, a smart kid playing for us in the secondary. You watch him, he's really good at breaking on the ball, he's got good ball skills, he's got good speed, and he's a physical tackler. Adam Smith, once again, Adam Smith is another high school quarterback. You're going to see his Shrine Bowl player, played quarterback for Atchison High School. Dad played here, and obviously knows uncles and a lot of cousins played here. A good athlete, like I said, his Shrine Bowl, awesome kid. This group of seniors that Atchison had this year was one of the best football groups they've had in a long time. He's a big part of that. He plays quarterback. He's also played some slot receiver, and once again, we get a chance to get another quarterback in the secondary, be a good leader, a good communicator. And that leads us into Coach Carlson. Coach Carlson got the wide receivers.
I'm thrilled. I got 5 guys to introduce to you. I'm thrilled about every single one of them. Just before we get started, as a staff, we evaluate the tape. That's the easy part. We get them on campus and then we work them out. So they're all catching balls, running routes for me and the rest of our staff. And then I always take apart because, you know, those wide receivers, if you watch the NFL, there can be some personalities out there. And I don't deal well with those guys. So I always make it a point to instruct and correct them at some point in the process. And these guys do a really good job, and they took the coaching. And I'm thrilled to introduce these 5 guys to you. The first one is Christian Cox. He's from Center High School in Kansas City, Missouri. He's a kid that we brought in on the last weekend. You'll see him do a lot of things. He did a really good job with his on-the-field workouts. He's an all-state performer for Center High School. They had a great year this year, 11-1. As I talk about all these kids, they all come from a standard of excellence. The combined record of the 5 kids that I'm going to show you for their high school senior season was 59-1. So we're getting a lot of kids from a lot of winning programs. He did a really, really nice job for me on the field, but there's still so much room and potential left for him. So I'm thrilled and really excited to get a chance to work with this young man. Really good kid from Center High School. We did go down to Dallas. This young man, Lawrence Dixon, he's from South Grand Prairie High School. That is clear in the southwest corner of Dallas, Texas. You will be pretty impressed with this young man right here. He's an all-district performer, which that loses, that gets lost in translation sometimes here in the Midwest. Like all-district in Texas and in Dallas is a really big deal. Equate that with all-state. He is a great kid. He had numerous in-state offers there in Texas and felt like this was the place that he could best play. He's a big-time playmaker. He makes the first guy miss. He can run away from you. He reminds me a lot of a kid that we have right now, Austin Panko, and what we can do with him. We're going to try to get the ball to him in a lot of different ways and highlight his skill set that you see right here. And these people that he is playing are the top high schools in America. These are DeSoto, Cedar Hill. These are top 25 programs where they have kids all over the field playing at a really high level. And Lawrence is doing really well. There's another one I am really excited about this kid. This is Luke Hardman from Lamar, Missouri. They are the Missouri 2A, 6-time defending state champion. You'll see a lot of tailback clips here. There is going to be a transition for him. He is in the top 1% in the country coming into this year in the 100-meter dash. He's a 10.5 100-meter runner. He has got a lot of speed, and I didn't know what to expect when we got him on his on-field workouts. He was really, really good. His starting point was good. His honors are too numerous to mention in this setting. He was Class 2A Player of the Year in Missouri, and you can see why. His production was off the charts, and again, I had a chance to watch him. He brings physical tools, he brings speed, and he's a great kid. He's a really great kid. He's going to do both for us. He's going to run track and play football here at Pittsburgh State. About as local product as you can get right here. Can't believe a Fort Scott guy would ever root for the Purple Dragons on the basketball court, but Elijah's such a good kid that I was rooting for him this fall. He's a 3-sport athlete. He's going to play baseball and football for us. We had team camp. Coach Nicholson brought the Dragons here, and he was one of the best players in the team camp. I knew right then this is a guy that I would like to work with. So we put the full court press on Elijah. And I think once we get him settled in, you can see that's Harrisonville. That's Missouri 4A state champion. He had a great game against some really good competition. And I think once we get him honed in, he's got an incredible ceiling. Phenomenal kid, phenomenal student. He was a Kansas All-State performer as well. Really excited to get him on campus. And last one. Great program. This is Zach Shanholzer, a really good kid that is so excited to be a gorilla. I was throwing him balls during his workout, and I said, I think I've thrown balls at this guy before. He's been here 4 times, so he either likes the way I throw to him, or he really wants to be here. The answer is probably yes to both of those. But he comes from Lee Summit West High School, which has been really, really good to us. Brenner Clemens is a West alum. Austin Panko is a West alum. Grayson Hondel is a West alum. Those guys are all in my room. He's an all-state performer from the state of Missouri. They spoke really highly of Zach and what kind of worker he is. You can see he has a lot of talent. And just in my experience, when you get a good work ethic with some good talent, things are going to work out really well for you. So those are the 5 guys that I get to work with for the next 5 years. Next up is the linebackers, Coach Carl Robb.
First of all, when we recruit linebackers, we got really 2 positions on the inside linebacker, the read side linebacker and the away side linebacker, and they each take a separate athlete. They're not interchangeable usually. So when we recruit these guys, we got to say, is he a read backer or away backer? So first one. Then we got Isaac Bicknell, and Isaac, we're going to look at him as an away side linebacker, and that's a linebacker that has to be removed from the box. You know, with today's spread offense, nobody using tight ends and fullbacks anymore. So we're going to look at Isaac because of his athleticism. Maybe he can come in and be that linebacker that when a team spreads you out, he can go out and play in space a little bit better. He's an all-state performer for Frontenac. Coach Smith, Mark's one of our alums there. So with his recommendation, we're excited to work with Isaac. And he'll start out as an away side linebacker. Okay, Britton Cottle. Britton is from Pea Ridge, Arkansas, and he's a team camp member. Now, all these team camps, everybody that helps do our team camps, it may be our best recruiting tool that we've got. Isaac was a team camp member. Britton's a team camp member. When they get up here, they get to play at our stadium. They have 3 days here, Plaster Center, and just interview with the coaches and such. They feel at home, and it's a lot easier to recruit them. Now, Britton, he brings good size. He's going to probably be an away side backer also. You know, he plays several secondary positions. So he's an athletic guy, but he's a big guy. He's 6'2" or 3, and the weight room, he's going to grow into be a big linebacker for us. So super excited. Get Britton up here and get him started on linebacker play. You know, all the clips you'll see, he's in the secondary or he's a receiver. So we'll have a little bit of transition there, but I worked him out when he was here on campus, and he's got the flexibility in the hips, and he's got the speed to be a good player for us. Okay, Dylan Flora, also from Frontenac. They had a super year up there. Coach Mark Smith, again, comes recommended by Mark. Dylan, now, he's probably going to be a read side backer. We're not going to ask him to go out and play in space. He's the more tough, the traditional Mike linebacker. He's a big, strong, tough player, hard-nosed, loves to just bang inside. So we're going to use him as the guy that doesn't get removed from the box when they spread us out. And Dylan's an all-state performer also. Okay, Delvin, once again, he's a team camp member. Sand Springs High School, or Charles Bates High School, out of Tulsa. And Delvin was an early commit, and he's a big-time player for us. The thing that you watch Delvin, now he's going to be both. I don't know where we'll put him for sure. He can play in space, and he's physical and strong enough. Now, if you're watching that defensive end here, but his stuff, he's explosive, and if you notice him, when he tackles you, there's lots of times the ball comes loose. He creates turnovers. So that's just me. He's very physical for an 18-year-old. And he's a little bit violent, so that's a bonus. And the last one here, Thomas Stringer, his dad's a Hall of Famer here, Tom Stringer. Great family. He's a running back. He's an all-state running back. But when we get him, we're going to work him out at linebacker, and he'll probably be the away side backer, I think. He's not a big, giant guy, but his strengths are his football smarts and his football savvy. He's one of those guys that you watch it, he just gets it done. And he's got whatever it takes to get it done. And when you look at him, he's not real imposing, but he's always gets it done. So we're happy to have Thomas here, and we'll work him out as the inside linebacker, even though most of his high school footage is going to be him as a running back. And Coach Rampy with the quarterbacks is next.
Leave it right there. Make no mistake about it. All these quarterbacks we recruit, you don't think it's hard to sit in our room if you're me. We look at all these guys that are really good players, and after a while they become safeties and linebackers and defensive ends. I'm going to show you the two I've hung up to so far, but they both play defense as well. Collectively, we signed two quarterbacks, B.J. Bradbury from Adair and Matt Harmon from Cashin, Oklahoma. But collectively, the two guys have thrown for over 20,000 yards and 280 touchdowns in their career. They've run for almost 4,000 yards and another 78 touchdowns in their career. So together, they've accumulated over 24,000 yards in total offense and have been a part of 358 touchdowns. Those are incredible numbers to me. The best part of it, they're 89-14 is their collective record between the two of them. One state championship and three backups. Both great guys. Okay, the first one is B.J. Bradbury from Adair, 6'3". The commonality between these two guys are their hands, their eyes, and their minds. This year when we came in and worked them out,
We threw a lot of the routes that we throw, and then I did, for the first time, I put them on the board and had them explain their offense to me and what they're reading, and had to just check their football IQ, so to speak. And both these guys have a great understanding of coverages and reads and leverage and spacing. BJ is a great athlete, a great runner. He threw for over 9,000 yards in his career, rushed over 2,400 yards, and accounted for 190 touchdowns. Again, they won a state title as a junior and got runner-up this year. So he's a great player. His brother also plays here for the Grills, so we're really excited about him. He had 192 tackles as a safety, but that's something we don't want to talk about. You know where that's going, right? The next young man is Matt Harmon, 6'2", a little over 200, probably closer to 220 when he came up and tested for us. Matt had a injury this year. I don't know how many games he totally played. 6? 5 or 6? Okay, but like a lot of the guys, he's been in team camp for us for 4 years. So I've watched him operate in an offense, and I've seen the responsibility his high school coach gave him. Again, just like BJ, he's got great hands, great eyes, and a tremendous mind. He wants to be a coach someday. He really understands the game of football. He threw for over 11,000 yards in his career, missing most of this season. Okay, so his numbers, he was going to have, he's 4th in Oklahoma all time, the yard he's thrown for. Okay, and again, he accumulated 168 touchdowns, I think, in 4 years career. So that's an amazing number. Very good kid. Both these guys are really high character guys. I can't wait to get them in our room and just watch them evolve as football guys. Okay, so those are 2 quarterbacks. Next, the corners, Dr. Dave Wiemers.
Okay, we got 5 cornerbacks. We're going to look at really, you know, we get to recruit, we kind of recruit areas. So some of us, we've recruited different places. We've all recruited a corner or a quarterback or a D lineman, offensive lineman. So you get to spend a lot of time with all of the recruits that are up here. You know, I coach corners, but may have recruited a quarterback, you know. And so it's nice to, when you get your own position, corners come in on visits. First and foremost this year, when we went corner shopping, really spent a lot of time checking them out. You know, every now and then we watch football games and we want to jump through the screen and grab the corner by the neck and choke them out. Understand that, and we've got some guys here I think with tremendous character and fit our program, our profile, the way we'd like it here. So go ahead here, Boo. We'll get Tyshawn Johnson, I believe, is up first. Now Tyshawn is originally from South Carolina. Coach Cullen started recruiting him at Hutchinson Community College. Now, you know, the thing you'll see here, this is practice video. He hasn't played at Hutchinson. He was a non-roster guy. Now understand, Kansas junior college system, there were some good players sitting on the boundary redshirting, but didn't get to make the roster because previously they could only certify 10 out-of-state players. Lots changed now in the JUCO world, but so Tyshawn's been a non-roster guy playing in practice, and we've had some success over the years taking a player in that situation. I think we had a decent receiver a few years ago. Did the same thing. I think Brad Brown kid. I think he was decent. So he was a guy that was a non-roster player at Coffeyville. So you take him and get him in, and he has tremendous athleticism. We look for length and the speed equivalent. You can find length and a guy that maybe doesn't run so well, or you can find a real fast guy that's maybe not as long. I think Tyshawn's got both. I think he can run, and he's got the length to get his hands on receivers and be disruptive. And I really like his man. You know, these are all one-on-ones in practice. I like his man repetition, which these days, if you're going to guard anybody or stop anybody, half the field you got to play man coverage, at least. So, looking for that profile. Tyshawn's a good kid, man. I really like him. I can't wait to get him in here. Zayshawn Weston's from Carl Junction, a good local player, a guy we've actually seen through camps. Watched him play Pittsburgh this year. I've seen him do some things in the area. He played basketball just a few weeks ago. So a good local player. I think has some maturing to do physically. He's still really young physically. Just looks like he's 12 years old. And we get him in the weight room, and
let him mature and grow up. I think he'll be a good player. Again, you can watch some of the burst movements. When it's time to stick a foot in the ground and go from one direction to the next, Zayshawn's got some talent there. Watched him in a basketball game. He was guarding Elijah in a basketball game the other night. I was excited to watch those two kind of go at it. And, watched him a couple times jump right up there, and he's got two hands up above the rim, as a 5'10" or 11 guy, so he's got some ability there. Next corner will be Byron McGrew. Coach K recruited him from Fort Smith, Arkansas. We had to kind of work kind of hard on Byron. He was stubborn for a while. Eventually got his mind right and became a gorilla. And, we're excited about that. And one thing you'll see in the video is you feel like he got the length here. He's got some long arms. Plays at a tremendous caliber. Like a lot of the guys that were set up here earlier, the 5 guys we're talking about here from winning programs. Used to the success, and we certainly want that to continue here. So, like Byron, great kid, big family down in Fort Smith. And Coach K and I had a good time going down there and sitting in the home and talking to these folks and trying to convince them Pitt State is the place to be. Byron's a kid that could play early. All right, CJ Myers. CJ is actually a kid I got to spend most of the time with. I've watched CJ for a year through last spring, and we spent a lot of time at Broken Arrow. They always have good talent, well-coached players. They got them everywhere. You walk on the field, there'll be 160 players. But really the key with CJ here, as you watch the videos, he can flat run, man. He can really go. He'll be potentially on our track team. We just got to decide if he wants to do it. He's playing safety in these cuts here. That's because that's where they needed him. And I like the fact he'll bring safety experience to corner. We typically here like to go the other direction. We like to have corner experience at safety. All right, so I like the fact he's well-rounded, jack of all trades, played offense, returned kicks, blocked kicks, played safety, played corner, all over the place. And as you can see, his velocity is pretty good on some of these cut-ups here. So excited about CJ. He was a gorilla from the first time I met him. You walked in the room and he was coming. And he had a lot of action to go other places, but he was sold on Pitt State. And I think we've had a good run with some Broken Arrow guys, and he knew all about us, and so I'm excited to get him in here. Okay, and Anthony Wilkerson, legacy player here. We had his dad, Chris. Gosh, seems like 50 years ago. Old Wilkie was playing receiver here. Can't believe he's got a son that's over at Lamar, the Lamar Mafia over there. They just continue to just win it all, won 6 in a row, 6 or 7 in a row. And Anthony did a great job playing corner. I had 11 career interceptions and mainly zone coverage, which tells you something about his ability to find out where the ball's going. Has speed. Really came in a couple weeks ago, and I thought tested tremendous. And I know everybody heard that we can. I'm telling you, what a great deal is to walk them in that big room over there and actually work them out. Division I schools can't do that. They're not allowed. It's against the rules. Division II schools, we're allowed to take them, actually do a physical workout. And we don't kill them, but you get a chance to see a kid move and, put a time on him. It's a big benefit to what you're doing in recruiting. And I thought Anthony did a great job in his testing and certainly needs to be a part of our team. So thank you very much. I think Coach Luke Miller's up next. The booth.
Thanks, Coach Weavers. Just because we're last, and you talked to Coach Rampy, doesn't mean the tight end position for us is going away. I just want to point that out. Me and Coach Rampy talk all the time that the tight end position for us is one of the most important positions. As much as it's evolving right now for us, we almost group 2 different tight ends now. And you'll kind of see that with both of these guys that we recruited and signed today. That we have an H tight end and a Y tight end. That the H tight end is going to play off the ball most of the time. And in our 2 tight end sets, he will always play off the ball. And our wide tight end is more of the bigger, stronger guy that's going to just be more physical, try to block that 6 technique every down if we ask him to. So you'll see both of these guys. The first one, Joseph Snooks, from, another one from Harrisonville. Again, he's a winner, 4A state champion this year for Harrisonville. You're going to see a lot of receiver clips and safety clips, and what we like about him is that he's one, he's physical, and two, he's athletic. So for us as an H tight end, we're going to be blocking a lot of guys in space. So when he comes in, that's the position he's going to play day one. Come in, when we worked him out, like everybody's kind of said, he was coachable. He wants to block guys. He's kind of an oversized receiver at 6'2". I think he's gained like 10 pounds since football's been over. I think he's about 215, 220 now already. First thing he asked me was, how much do you want your tight ends to weigh? And I was like, just whatever you're comfortable with, but about 230, 235 at that position, and shoot, he's almost there already. So he's athletic, he catches the ball really well. It's something we're going to ask our H tight ends to do. And so I'm excited to get him in and kind of mold him into the guy that we kind of want here at Pittsburgh State. So next guy, the last one, is Alex Turner. And like everybody said, you want to keep local talent around here. And Alex didn't have a great junior season, but Coach Wells came and recruited his butt off on him, and came to me November and said, hey, you got to take a look at this kid. It was a no-brainer, not only because he's local, but two, because he loves the block. And Alex, we think, can probably play one Y or H tight end. He can be a 3-down guy for us, and can block a 6 technique or be athletic enough to block a linebacker in space. Can catch the ball really well. You're going to see a bunch of those clips. That's the hardest thing anymore. Recruiting a tight end is the first 10 clips you're ever going to see is them catching touchdowns, because that's what every person loves to do is catch touchdowns as a tight end or receiver. But he's a physical, big kid, like that clip right there. I mean, that's like an offensive lineman. I mean, that's the clips that you love to see that he really likes to do. And kind of the last thing I'll leave you on him is we watched him play basketball at Frontenac a week or so ago, and I got to talking to his parents, and they actually went up to our game in Northwest, kind of the first game that they'd seen us play, and when they left that game, Alex even said to his parents, he's like, and we didn't play very well, obviously, but Alex was like, I want to be a gorilla. And he's like, I hope I get a chance to be a gorilla. And we made that happen. He made that happen, and we're really excited for him to be a gorilla and get him playing tight end for us. So thank you very much, Coach Rampy.
Coach Rampy, you want to just say something about the golf tournament real quick? Real quick. We got a slide up there. If you guys just to announce, we're going to try to have a second golf tournament that you can see on the slide up on the wall. The one out here is going to be the 36th annual. It's not changing. It's Monday, June 26th. Everything about that is the same. And then that Wednesday, 2 days later, we're going to have one up at Grand Summit, Kansas City. If you are interested in sponsorship for either one of those tournaments, or you want to play in any one of those tournaments, please contact me here at the league, and we'd love to get you involved. The one up at Kansas City is a new event for us. We just feel like we can reach out to the many Kansas City alumni we have, and it's going to be a morning tournament at Grand Summit. So this is the first time we've made that public, and hope to see you guys there.
All right, last thing real quick is April 4th, we start spring ball. You're always welcome to come and watch us practice. April 29th is our spring game. We'd love to have you there. Thanks again for coming, and if you have any questions or want to talk to any of our coaches, just hang around here afterwards, get another sandwich to go, or whatever you need. Appreciate you coming. Thank you.